Hey guys, this is Tim of Two Dudes Gaming, and in today's video, I just want to provide you a brief update of the Righteous Fire build and how I kind of got to where it is currently, my progression throughout the acts, where I will be going with this build, and my hopes for it. And also just be giving my initial impressions of the game, as this has been my first time going through the campaign, and this will eventually be my first time mapping in Path of Exile 1, as I've never gotten to the mapping stage or facing any endgame bosses before, which I'm pretty darn excited about. So as you can see on screen, I am just running through sewers. Right now I'm around level 59 with Righteous Fire, and what you see is what you get. I'm going through my gear on screen here as well, so you can see it's not the best and it's not the greatest, but you're mostly going for armor and energy shield based items to get the red and blue sockets that we need for Righteous Fire. Now again, the build is straight up. It's a nice little ring of death around you, and that anyone that comes within it, again, they just melt away. This build has great clear speed. It's not fantastic when it comes to single target damage, but that's okay because that's what Fire Trap is for. And then otherwise, this build is a very chill and laid back experience for me, especially as being a new player. Again, I get to turn my brain off and just kind of watch my character grow and progress, which has been a lot of fun. And this is mainly because of Pohx's build guide with his POB and the videos he has on YouTube and the information he even provides in the POB, which I will be leaving in the description below here as well. It has just freed my brain up to kind of, again, understand more aspects of the game and more mechanics of the game as I allow the build to progress. He makes this just very beginner friendly and is a great starting place if you've never played Path of Exile before, or you just feel overwhelmed with the amount of information that is in this game too. So in order to start this build, you actually need to first create a witch, and then you use the witch all the way up to the point of where you kill Hailrake to get the gems needed, such as Rolling Magma, Frostblink, Arcane Surge, and Flame Wall as well, because those will be our main skills, at least through Act 1 and mostly Act 2, to help progress our Marauder, which we will then ascend to Chieftain down the line. Now, I had no issues with the Witch and getting the gear I needed for my Marauder. However, I did have an issue where I was literally 1 point of intelligence too low to use the gear, but thankfully my buddy Carl on the channel here was able to help me through until I hit about level 9, and that's where things started to pick up a little for me. Now, again, near the Act 2 is when you get Righteous Fire. You have to buy it from Yena after a quest, where I believe it's where you have to kill the bandit leaders. Don't quote me on that. Again, new player here. But once it comes online, you're definitely not immune or invincible. And one thing you need to make sure you watch out for is that your Righteous Fire isn't overcoming your health regen. And again, you can kind of overcome this with fire resistance and health regen through ruby rings, which you can get near the beginning, and then also health regen, which you can find mostly on the passive tree. But once you have those issues squared away, the game becomes a lot smoother for you. Now again, you feel very tanky, but you're not an absolute tank. I did die a couple of times, mostly lightning-based attacks, and that was pretty sad for me because I'm a perfectionist, and I was really trying to get through the campaign without dying for my first time, and I'm currently up to about 10 deaths, and probably 7 of them were from the mercenaries, honestly. Some of them can hit just really freaking hard. But my first death was to Piety, who hit me with a lightning attack, and I believe my second death was actually to Dominus via a lightning attack as well. I think one of the most disappointing parts of the campaign was, again, I was facing a mercenary, and you can get some amazing items from the mercenaries. I will say a lot of my gear has come from just taking items from the mercenaries. If you're not looking at the mercenaries or even using this mechanic, I highly suggest it because they have a lot of good gear on them. For example, I had the chance to get a tabula rasa from one of them, which, if you don't know, it's a 6-link achromatic body armor, and I thankfully got it from the mercenary. I beat the mercenary. However, the game had reset or something happened, and I unfortunately actually lost that armor, and you'll be seeing that on screen actually as well. But the progression through the acts was, again, very easy. All I had to continually worry about was my next destinations while picking up items along the way, just to make sure and see if they were better than my original. And it was just a very enjoyable, casual experience where I could just shut my brain off. Like, that's how I feel about RF. It's just an opportunity to shut your brain off, especially if you had a stressful day, if you just didn't get to rest, relax. This is your time to do that. Now, the Righteous Fire build really came to life for me, meaning, again, I just felt even more unstoppable or more of a tank. This felt, again, more capable of not dying when I ascended finally. And again, the first two Ascendancy points I took was towards Tacilio Cleansing Water, which again basically took modifiers of fire resistance, also applying to cold and lightning at 50% of their value. Again, it took me from, I had 79 fire resistance, 12 cold, and 49 lightning. And again, just picking this point maxed out my cold and lightning resistance up to 77, which was awesome. A huge difference maker. Now, with that being said, I'm currently around Act 8, and I'm trying to progress into Endgame. Hopefully do that tonight as soon as I'm done with this video. Hopefully, again, I get to take on some final bosses, which I'm excited for, and we'll provide videos for as well. And then, again, once I have maxed out Righteous Fire to the most degree that I can, whatever that means, my goal is to then start a Flicker Strike build. I don't know if I'll get to that point, as this is my first run through of Path of Exile, and I want to see how far I can get with Righteous Fire. But we'll see if we get to that point. But those are my plans for the rest of this league, at least until Path of Exile 2's league comes. But Path of Exile 1, as again, this being my first real league and my first time going through the campaign, has been a ton of fun. The new mechanic with the mercenaries has been really fun, and again, I have found myself just wanting to keep going and progressing the character and seeing them become stronger and stronger and not really wanting to stop. Even though I should probably use the bathroom or get to bed a little earlier, again, I'm losing sleep because of this game. It's been that fun. Now, again, I am very new, so I also tend to feel really lost when looking at stats on gear and knowing what is helpful and what isn't. But thankfully, Pohx's guide has done a really good job of helping me point out what is important to the gear that I need. For example, like max life and fire resistance being super duper important for Righteous Fire. But overall, it's been really fun, really enjoyable. There's a ton of info for me to learn, and again, the more I know, the less I definitely know about this game. And again, I'm an absolute beginner. I know nothing. But again, it's been a very enjoyable experience. If you've never played Path of Exile, I highly suggest you play it. And if you've only played Path of Exile 2, play Path of Exile 1. It is just an overall, obviously, a much better game right now just because of how many years have been put into it and how much, again, love has been given to this game. And it makes me also, though, very, very excited for where Path of Exile 2 will go in the future. Now, with that all being said, I'll be providing updates to this build as I go along and as I learn it. And I just wanted to say thank you guys from Carl and I for the support. We are already at 57 subscribers, even though we only started this past April, which is just kind of insane. So we just cannot thank you guys enough for the support. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. And if you have any thoughts about the Righteous Fire or Path of Exile and your experience so far, please leave them down in the comments section below. And otherwise, I will see you all in the next one.